There's a very, very famous story of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, one of the most famous and colorful Hasidic rabbis in the early 1800s. And he was known to be very, very spontaneous. Some people considered him like wild and unpredictable, but he was an incredible neshama. So this is a very, very famous story about one time he wanted to spend Shabbos with Rav Baruch of Mezebutch. And Rav Baruch was very different than Reb Levi Yitzchak. He was very, very staid and calm and dignified and somewhat serious. So when Rav Baruch received a request from Reb Levi Yitzchak, he was honest with him. He said, I don't think this is going to work. Your ways are very different than my ways. And Rabbi Levi Yitzchak said, no, I really want to come. I really want to come. I'll control myself. Everything will be okay. So Rav Baruch agreed. So the Friday night at shul, so Rabbi Levi Yitzchak is holding himself back. Sometimes when he would daven, he would get so enthusiastic that he would just seem to be out of control. But everything was good. So then they came back for the meal, and Rav Baruch made Kiddush, and Reb Levi Yitzchak is like holding himself back. And then the meal comes, and someone is going around with trays of sweet fish and sour fish. There was like a machloket between the rabbis, which is better on Friday night, sweet fish or sour fish. So the man with these big platters of fish comes up to Rabbi Levi Yitzchak and says, do you like sour fish or do you like sweet fish? And Rabbi Levi Yitzchak says, like fish? Like fish? I love God. And he got so enthusiastic that he threw his hands up and his hand hit the tray and the fish went flying everywhere. And a huge piece of fish ended up on Rav Baruch's talis, because he had still been wearing it from davening, because when the rabbis would eat, it would be as holy as davening. And people looked, oh my gosh, what is the Rebbe going to say? What is the Rebbe going to say? And Rav Baruch, who kind of warned Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, that's why he didn't want it to come for Shabbos, but he saw that Rabbi Levi Yitzchak was like for real. His enthusiasm was for real. And so he just waved his students off. And later he told them, I will never wash this talis, because the stains in this talis came from a true servant of God whose enthusiasm and love of God knows no bounds. This talis was handed down from Rebbe to Rebbe. At first, Reb Baruch would only wear it on Shabbos because he thought it was so holy. After he passed away, they began to wear it only on Yom Kippur. And then only on the last prayer of Yom Kippur, Ne'ilah. And then approximately 120 years after this incident, the Munkacher Rebbe, this was the late 20s, early 30s, prophetically saw what was about to happen. And he, when he was on his deathbed, he asked to be buried in this talis. So the Munkacher Rebbe was buried in this talis. So we should learn a beautiful lesson. We don't have to overturn trays to make the point, but we should never get tired of our love of God. We should never get old in our ways, that we don't get enthusiastic about davening and doing mitzvot and learning Torah. And in this way, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak's legacy will live on.